Sandra Kubinski, thank you so much for being with us tonight and bringing your keyboard from New York City.
Absolutely.
This
Thank
is
you
awesome.
so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So let's find out all about you. You're from Enfield, Connecticut.
I am.
You starred in Annie at the Goodspeed Opera House at the age of 12 or 13.
That's true.
And you can sing, dance, and act, and write music. So you're not only the triple threat, but you can do a whole lot of other things too. When did you decide that you're going to be a singer-songwriter?
Well, for me, the switch happened. I had done all of the professional acting starting in Connecticut, actually, and decided to go to Florida State University for theater. And when I got there, it was right immediately when 9/11 happened. And I don't know if it was that or some combination of factors, but I found myself wanting to express. And I all of a sudden had this vision of, you know how when you go to a great big concert and you see through the fog, they fog up the place and then you see the light coming through the fog. I had this vision of me at a grand piano on like this giant stage, maybe Madison Square Garden.
You were in college when you had this vision.
Yeah. I'm lonely, I'm missing my family. The 9/11 had just happened. I felt so distant from the people that I loved in Florida because everyone was up here in Connecticut. And I just had this vision, and I think I've sort of been following that ever since. So I started to write. I read every book on the music industry that I could find. And
when did you know you could write music? Because you were singing, dancing, acting on the stage. But as a kid, were you also horsing around with writing music?
I was. It wasn't really serious, but I think there are some classic hits like Gone Fishing, things that we wrote for neighborhood circuses or neighborhood plays. There was a Halloween play. Oh my gosh, the Halloween play, the Christmas play. So I was doing it then, but I had no idea. I mean, it wasn't like, look at this great music I wrote. It was like, well, we need, we're doing a musical, so therefore there needs to be music, and I guess it'll be us who is writing it.
And did you take piano lessons? I mean, is this the only instrument that you play?
It's not. I can hack at a guitar badly, and I do.
I don't know if I believe you or not.
No, it's really not good. And I can play a little djembe, my little hand drum. I like that. But piano, I started lessons at age 7, with Jane LaRocca in Enfield, Connecticut.
She will love hearing her name.
Right? I mean, well, Jane, love you wherever you are. Yeah, so that was that.
Do you remember the first song you wrote that kind of got a little bit of commercial success, that maybe you were in the right genre, that you were doing the right thing?
There were a number, because as soon as I started actually making music that I meant to be commercially released, we started, little signs popped up that, okay, this is good, keep going. But I think probably the first time that I was really wowed, that I was bowled over, is there's a song called Cradle the Moon, which was on MySpace at the time. And a guy came out to one of my shows in New York and told me that one of his clients had sent him, and as it turned out, the client was Billy Joel. And he had heard this song, Cradle the Moon, on the internet, and wanted to know who I was, and so that
you got to give us some.
Completely,
you got to give us a little. Yeah.
So this is a really sad song about, like, if you are in a bad place in life, if you have somebody who's there to kind of catch you. It's more than a storm, my life hurricane. It's all slipping through my hands like teardrops and rain. And I get so defeated just trying to hold on when I can't hold my head up, my spirit is gone. Then I come home to you when I'm safe in your arms. I can hold the sun and cradle the moon. So that's kind of how,
And did you meet him, and what happened?
I did. So I ended up, he invited me up to one of his shows, which I believe was at Mohegan Sun at the time.
And how old are you at the time?
So I'm 24. I was 24 at the time. I had been in New York a couple of years, and just playing every club and, networking my music around, going to meetings and mixers and open mics and all sorts of things. And so I did meet him, and he's continued to be just a really amazing supporter. I mean, he's like everything to me as a writer. I grew up listening to him, and he's such a giant inspiration in the storytelling aspect of my writing.
So that's a really nice friend to have,
Yeah.
Sandra.
Yeah,
That's really nice.
Yeah, yeah. Very
How would you
lucky.
describe your music? And it's growing. You're 30 now.
I am. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so you're still a kid, but how has your music morphed and changed? And are you writing for yourself? Are you writing only for commercial? Where are you settling so far?
Sure. Well, I think when I started out writing, I had that, youthful, like, I have to say my thing the way that I need to say it.
The angst?
Yeah, total angst. Oh my gosh, my first few albums, it's like Sturm und Drang. And then I think as I went along in my own writing, I started allowing myself to have fun with it. So on my last album, which is called Just Being Myself, there's actually...
Wait, on my last album, I love hearing
Right.
that. I have a lot more out, but on my last album.
Right. Well, that was number 4 for me. So on that one, there are some things that are just funny. I mean, and humorous, and where I let out this kind of theatrical side, which of course was my roots. And I had been really preoccupied up until then with, like, I have to be very serious because, I'm a serious singer-songwriter. And of course I already look young, so I was worried that no one would take me seriously. But I can tell you right now, it's way more fun to have fun and write things that
So what did you crank out? What did you write when you said, I'm going to have fun and I'm going to be a little bit unpredictable?
Okay. So a really good example of...
and I realize I'm just throwing this at you.
That's okay. No, I love it. So there's a song called Just Being Myself that essentially is like, well, I know that I can be up and down and high and low, and I'm a little bit crazy, but like if you don't like that, go away.
Too bad.
So the chorus of that song, I thought when I wrote this, I can never play this live. Like, this is so selfish and stuck up. It goes like this. I'm sorry that I'm irresistible, even I want to be all over myself. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm unpredictable. 1 minute you're heaven, next minute you're hell. Oh, if you can't handle me, oh well. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, but I'm just being myself. So it goes on.
Great rhythm. Is that getting radio play yet?
Well, we've had a number of TV placements with it. So
Where?
It's been on a fantastic show called Kendra on Top, who's an ex-Playboy bunny with a show. Amazing. And it was just on Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta. It was used as a promo for a different network. I don't know if I can say it.
Yeah, of course you can.
On NBC. So, it was used as a promo in taxis in New York
And are
City
you seeing
for a while.
residuals from
Yeah.
this? Good.
Fortunately, that was a big turning point. The day you get that first check from your performing rights organization and you go, oh, like, I guess I'm a legitimate songwriter now.
Would you say you're making a total living being a singer-songwriter?
I make a total living as an entertainer. So there's a hodgepodge. There's the songwriting piece, which I love. There's nothing like finishing a song and thinking, I think that's done, and let's go play it for people, and that's scary. There's that, and then I'm lucky enough to also do some voiceover and some commercial work. And the music licensing, of course.
Acting.
Yeah, and the acting, which it's coming back around. Like I haven't done a lot of it, although I did an off-Broadway show and a movie and some other things in my time in New York. But I love being on stage with a cast, like having a family that you get to work with.
And you're totally composed, so none of this throws you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, perhaps Annie led to a lot of that. And prior to Annie, had you done anything prior to that?
Sure, I'd done community theater in the Enfield and Agawam, Massachusetts area, and I think that's where I got started. One day, really the way my mom tells the story was, we wanted you to audition for theater so that you'd sing outside of the house. Like, maybe if we give you an outlet, you'll stop singing all the time at home. So that's basically what happened, and little did she know she'd be shuttling me to Goodspeed 8 times a week.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
So you ran into someone, and she's a friend, and she has 2 children who have autism, are on the autism spectrum. you decided to write a song, or did she ask you to write it and you did? How did this come about?
Sure. So Not So Different is this song inspired by my friend Vanessa, who has these two wonderful boys on the autism spectrum. And she's involved with an organization called Autism Speaks, and she
Sure.
is very involved in putting together one of their walks, and asked last year, hey, why don't you write a song for our walk? And I thought, I'd love to do that, but if we do it, let's really take it as far as we can. And given that I have this ability to release music on iTunes and Google Play, and we have the means of distribution, why don't we produce it and put it out and then just donate all the sales? We'll donate all the proceeds to Autism Speaks, Music for Autism, the Help Group, just different autism groups. And she was on board, got a producer, produced the song, and it is now, it's out on all of those places, iTunes and Google Play.
And you're charging 99 cents, and you and I talked before that it's just 99 cents. This money is going to go to some folks. It's going to help with research. It's going to help with, where is it all going?
Yeah, sure. So right now, the CDC just released new numbers, which are 1 in 63, I think it is, kids on the autism spectrum, whereas the previous number was 1 in 82, I think it was, 1 in the 80s. And so it's interesting to me to note that it's growing, and that's not a good thing. And so the money goes towards things like early intervention programs. I can't tell you how many parents I've met who say early intervention is the thing that helped my child to develop in a direction where now they're high functioning. They do well on their own in society. So there's that. There's the things like the after-school programs. You mentioned the research, of course, which is a big component of what Autism Speaks does. And just the community support. You know, there are groups and there are kits that you can acquire when you've had a diagnosis in your family. So this money goes towards that.
So let me get this straight. You sing, dance, act, you sing, you write songs, and you're doing good. Could you pass this on to many more people? Because this is really, I mean, the arts to me are, it's a joy in life. Where would we be without the arts?
Absolutely.
And you're combining the two things and helping people, and that's just what we need to do in life.
Yeah, I think it's very healing. You know, music especially music and art have a power to move you so that you get to experience something that maybe in a regular day you wouldn't actually allow yourself to experience it. But that music or that art is the conduit by which you can feel whatever it is that you need to feel. And I consider it really a gift to be able to facilitate that process.
Well, I could talk to you for hours, but our time is limited. But I'm just going to leave the folks with you playing Not So Different. And I thank you so much for coming on, and continued good luck. And we will be watching you, Cassandra Kubinski.
Thank you so
from
much,
Enfield, Connecticut. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, do your thing.
All right. I can be sunshine, even when all you see is rain. I can be silence. Inside I'm calling out your name. Words don't come easy, but I hear everything you say. Reach out and touch me. I need to feel your heart today. But don't say that I'm in the dark, 'cause you can't see my light. It takes every color in the spectrum to make the world so bright. And if we want to understand, we all must learn to listen. 'Cause love speaks in a million ways, and in the end, we're not so different. Hey, yeah, we're not so different. Hey, yeah. Now it can be hard, I know, when all you want to do is help. But trust that I'm learning everything I need within myself. It takes a village, it takes a will, takes some work and it takes time, discovering slowly, growing the world that's in my mind. But don't say that I'm in the dark, 'cause you can't see my light. It takes every color in the spectrum to make the world so bright. And if we want to understand, we all must learn to listen. 'Cause love speaks in a million ways, and in the end, we're not so different. Hey, yeah, we're not so different. Yeah, you and me. Oh, can't you see? Oh, we're not so different. Ooh. So walk with me here now. Can you feel the beat moving us along? We're not alone now. No, we are a million strong. And I know we're gonna get there, to the place where we belong, where everyone joins together, join together. Help me sing my song. Don't say that I'm in the dark, 'cause you can't see my light. It takes every color in the spectrum to make the world so bright.